The episode starts with Subaru Natsuki, our protagonist, a 17-year-old boy who was visiting a convenience store to buy snacks while at a street festival in Tokyo. As he was walking back from buying his food, he suddenly finds himself transported to a fantasy world. After taking a moment to process what just happened, Subaru realizes that he has no knowledge of where he is or how he got there. Suddenly, a group led by a long-haired, purple-faced man attacks him. Subaru tries to fight off the men, but he cannot combat the trained warriors, and just as he was about to take his last breath, he finds himself back at the alleyway he was in before. He is confused and disoriented, but he's alive. Subaru determines that he must have triggered some spell that caused his death to reset him back to the alleyway. As he struggles to comprehend what just happened, he discovers a silver-haired female, Amelia, being attacked by the same group of thugs who killed him before. Without hesitation, Subaru jumps in to save her, and with some assistance from Amelia's magical abilities, they manage to fend off the attackers. Amelia thanks him for his help, and he decides to accompany her on her journey. However, it's not long before the duo is attacked by a strange being. Despite his best efforts, Subaru is unable to defeat the entity, and both him and Amelia are killed. Once again, Subaru wakes up in the same alleyway with no recollection of what happened. By now, Subaru understands that he has been transported to a different world, where magic is a way of life, and he is unable to explain his current predicament. But he's not alone, and he has some people who are willing to help him. Without wasting any time, he sets out to find Amelia and help her with her mission: reunion with the witch. Subaru starts his search for Amelia, and soon finds himself in a fantastical world of wonders, with dangers lurking everywhere. Luckily for him, he stumbles upon a grand mansion, with its occupants looking for a butler. As he tries to relax and understand the situation he's in, he soon discovers that the residents of the mansion are more than they seem. The premises are guarded by two twin-tail maids, Ram and Rem. They later inform him that their boss, the lord of the mansion, is Roswell L. Mathers, who happens to be an intelligent individual. Subaru discovers that Amelia is no ordinary girl. To save her life, she's willing to go to extreme lengths as she is searching for a dragon who stole her family's emblem. Before long, he finally finds Amelia and decides to help her out. Unfortunately, they find themselves in an attack by overpowering knights, resembling her in that her former family once controlled the land. One of the attackers is a woman, Elsa Granheirt, who intends to capture Amelia and claim the bounty on her head. Subaru is unable to protect Amelia from Elsa's attacks, and once again, the duo is killed. Subaru wakes up again in the same alleyway, only this time, he is more determined than ever to protect Amelia, starting life from zero in another world. Once more, Subaru starts his search for Amelia. He discovers that the situation he's in keeps changing, and each time it resets in the alleyway, he has to start from scratch. But he doesn't lose hope, and is determined to help Amelia no matter what. Subaru's path crosses with a mysterious individual, Satella, who introduces herself as the Witch of Envy. She engages him in conversation, and reveals that she has the power to restart time, and that Subaru is under a curse that she believes he can break if he saves her daughter's life. Subaru is determined to do whatever it takes to break the spell. He is unaware of the sacrifice that he might need to make to accomplish this task. Subaru pairs up with Amelia once again on their quest, which leads them on a series of adventures. As the situation grows more complicated, the duo encounters a thief who steals the emblem, a massive creature called a white whale that can erase people's memories once they are impacted by the darkness of humanity's greed. After a lot of trials, they eventually recover the emblem, but despite their best efforts, their journey ends with something unexpected and depressing: the happy Roswell Mansion family. Subaru once again wakes up in the alley, but this time he is mentally exhausted, and the ongoing cycle is taking a toll on him. He wants nothing more than to get Amelia out of danger's way. Luckily for him, he ends up at the same mansion as before and decides to make it his temporary abode. He decides to work in the estate as a butler, hoping to use this opportunity to learn about the area and other happenings. He also hopes to get closer to the Twin Tail sisters and maybe even earn their respect respect. Subaru gets along well with Rem, but has a challenging time to win over her sister Ram. He learns that the mansion belongs to a powerful magician, Roswal. Roswal is convinced Emilia defeated the witch, so he offers her a business deal. He desires to use Emilia's royal status to back his political ambitions, even exploiting the insignia she currently holds. However, Subaru holds fast to protecting Emilia's interests, and in doing so, holds a banquet in her honor. In exchange for this gesture, Roswal agrees to drop his ambitions. Subaru manages to persuade the merchants and townspeople to attend, and the party is a tremendous success. He believes he is finally making headway with Emilia when they are abruptly interrupted. A messenger arrives from the palace to inform her that it's time for her royal selection, and in that, Subaru bears witness to a more defining moment for Emilia. The morning of our promise is still distant. Subaru slowly begins to understand the world he's in a lot better, and as he discovers more and more, the idea of going back to his own world seems somewhat foreign and impossible. He decides to find Emilia and aid her in any way he can. He comes across Pagani & Sons, the largest and most influential trading company in the land. He learns that the company refuses to trade with Roswal because of the witch's curse. Subaru, along with another trader, Otto, sets out to persuade the merchants to attend the banquet. Unfortunately, they refuse, citing the curse as their reason. Subaru is heartbroken, however. He knows by now that he must change their minds to help Emilia. With the reluctant help of the twins, Subaru manages to break into the company head office and discover a massive plot to kill Emilia. It turns out that the response to the Witch of Envy has allowed prejudice for other half-elves, and Emilia's features are recognizable to these folks. They would like to get rid of her along with the witch. Subaru quickly comes up with a plan to surpass their schemes. They manage to reach the royal capital, but Emilia is visibly shaken due to the state of the city. It becomes apparent that the city is divided and prejudiced against people like the sounds of chains. After the chaotic events of the previous episode, Subaru starts to feel the effects of the witch's curse. He becomes ill, and his mind starts playing tricks on him, showing him vivid visions of the witch. This triggers an investigation that leads him to discover the source of the curse. Subaru, Emilia, and Beatrice, the spirit of the library, set out to find the source of the curse. They soon learn that it is a cult led by a man named Beetlejuice. He has been planting curses on anyone who comes too close to the source of the curse, the witch's tomb. The trio manages to defeat Beetlejuice, but the victory is short-lived. They realize that the being has planted bombs all over the city, which will explode at a specific time. Due to the gravity of the situation, Emilia entrusts Subaru with the task of defusing the bombs. He succeeds, but during the process, Subaru loses his life. He awakens in the alleyway once more, but this time, he's determined to unravel the mysteries surrounding his plight. However, he is unaware that the more he changes fate, the more twisted and dark his story becomes. The Natsuki Subaru Witch Cult. Subaru believes that he finally has a handle on things after the events of the previous episode. His mind is made up that he must return to the capital and make it better and safer for Emilia. However, there's one big problem. Beetlejuice's cult has taken over the royal capital, and Emilia is nowhere to be found. Subaru meets up with Reinhard in the city, an individual whose fighting abilities are unmatched. He accompanies Reinhard in searching for Emilia, but to no avail. The chaos of Beetlejuice's witches cult is mounting every passing day. Towards the end of the episode, Subaru and Reinhard are ambushed by members of the cult. In the midst of the battle, Subaru is killed, and Reinhard also perishes while trying to protect him. I cried my lungs out, and stopped crying. Subaru awakens back in the alleyway once again and is depressed by his recurring death. He remembers Rem and decides to go back to the mansion to see her again. As he travels through the forest on his way to the mansion, he is attacked by several man-beasts and rescued in the nick of time by Krush Karsten, an ambitious young lady who is after the throne and a powerful warrior. She promises to allow Subaru to live with his injuries he sustained in the fight, respecting how he stood his feet against against the menacing creatures. He agrees to take her up on the offer, as the wounds he received could end him if not treated. At the mansion, Subaru discovers that Rem has been cursed by the witch's cult and suffers memory loss. They later discover that the culprits responsible for this are the witch's cult members who have captured Amelia. Determined to get her back, Subaru approaches Krush Karsten to ask for her help. She initially refuses, but after she receives a letter from Anastasia Hoshin, she decides to aid him. The letter says that Anastasia will support whoever eliminates the witch's cult members occupying the Watergate City. Subaru and Krush's troops attempt to raid the castle to save Amelia, but barely manage to escape when things go wrong. Subaru understands that the situation is severe, and he needs to come up with a strategy to save Amelia and defeat the witch's cult. The meaning of courage. The episode starts with Julius Jukulius, a swordsman highly respected in the kingdom, meeting Subaru and acknowledging that he can sense a mission in Subaru's life. Subaru insists that they keep moving forward to rescue Amelia. The team arrives at Watergate City, where they encounter several witches cult members, and a brawl ensues. They manage to fend off the attackers, but not before Rem is gravely injured. Subaru, determined to save Amelia, and Rem decides to take drastic measures to infiltrate the castle. With help from Otto, they manage to sneak into the den of the witches cult members. Subaru sees Amelia in chains and frees her, but as they are making their escape, they are confronted by the cult leader, Beetlejuice Romani Conti. Subaru and the cult leader engage in a battle, which ends up causing the entire castle to collapse. In the chaos that follows, Subaru and Rem fall off the cliff and they both die. Subaru wakes up in the alleyway once more, aware that he's in a time loop. No matter the efforts he makes, he succumbs to the curse. Fanatical methods like a demon. Subaru is once again in front of the mansion, and he resolves to exhibit genuine kindness to everyone. This time around, he makes a formal plea to Roswell to assist him in finding out who the witch's cult is after in the next attack. Roswell is impressed by his sincerity and tells him that he can go to the royal capital and access valuable information regarding the witch's cult. Subaru successfully arrives in time to avoid the formation of the witch's cult organization entirely, thanks to the aid of Amelia, Ram, and Julius. They are saved by the 5th Divine Protection, RBD. Amelia is crowned as the 42nd King of Lugnica, thanks to Julius, who gives her his sword, ending Beetlejuice and the witch cult. The episode ends with Subaru becoming more mentally unstable and in a state of shock due to the numerous deaths he had to endure. Rem. Subaru wakes up in a catatonic state and is unable to comprehend what's going on around him. When he finally comes to, he is in Rem's room and is shocked to learn that Rem has been comatose for months due to the witch cult's attack. Subaru is devastated by the fact that he's responsible for Rem's current state. He decides that he must do everything in his power to save her. He finds out about a healer in the village of Arlem who can aid in bringing Rem back to consciousness. Subaru, along with Krush, Amelia, and Anna, sets out to find the healer. Return to the Forbidden Library. Subaru and the rest reach the village of Arlem and make their way to the healer's residence. Amelia, who is possessed by the Witch of Envy, unexpectedly enters the building and attacks the healer. Subaru realizes that the only way he can save Amelia is to return to the Forbidden Library and meet with Beatrice, the spirit that guards the library. Beatrice, who is still grieving over the loss of her former contractor and family, initially refuses to help Subaru, but he convinces her by saying that he will be her new family. Beatrice agrees to help him and transfers him back in time to their very first meeting. He is now in a position to confront Beetlejuice, Romani Conti, and stop him before he can harm Rem. Subaru manages to defeat the cult leader and save the day, creating an alternate timeline. He uses the opportunity to reconcile with Rem and promises not to fail her ever again. As the episode ends, Subaru and Rem share a moment of intimacy, and Subaru realizes that he has come a long way since he first arrived in this world. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable adventure. Stay tuned for more exciting anime recaps from our channel. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to stay up to date with our latest uploads. Until next time.